The stars of Golden Age Hollywood looked flawless, perfect smiles, flawless skin, and bone structures that seemed heaven-sent. But behind those dazzling close-ups were hidden surgeries, secret recovery rooms, and studio contracts that demanded physical perfection at any cost. From chin implants to painful hairline electrolysis, the faces we worshipped were often carved more by scalpel than genetics.
They included details of medical procedures and even X-rays of Monroe's chin and nose. According to author Patrick McGrady, Monroe underwent chin surgery sometime around 1949 after she overheard people referring to the contract actress as a chinless wonder.
Number 21. Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe wasn't always the glamorous blonde we all remember. Born Norma Jean Baker, her look was completely transformed through carefully planned surgeries. Her agent, Johnny Hyde, believed in her potential so much that he personally paid for a chin implant and a subtle nose job. These changes softened her jawline and refined her profile, helping to create that dreamy, iconic face. What we knew as Marilyn was, in truth, a carefully sculpted masterpiece.
To look less simple. The move ultimately worked, but she had to retint her hair every other day. Aside from hair dye, Rita had electrolysis, a cosmetic procedure which used chemicals or concentrated heat to remove individual hairs, lowering her hairline and making her forehead appear higher.
Number 20. Rita Hayworth. Before she became a symbol of old Hollywood glamour, Rita Hayworth was Margarita Cancino. To hide her Hispanic roots, Columbia Pictures ordered 18 months of electrolysis to painfully raise her hairline and make her look less ethnic. She also dyed her hair auburn and adopted a new name. The process was brutal, and the goal was clear: transform her completely. Her beauty came at the cost of losing part of her identity, both culturally and physically.
On May 7, 1901, in Helena, Montana, Gary Cooper's journey to stardom began inauspiciously. Raised on a ranch, Cooper developed a love for the outdoors and horsemanship.
Number 19. Gary Cooper. Shocking ear-pinning surgery. Gary Cooper had that classic all-American movie star face, but not without help. Early in his career, Paramount executives thought his ears stuck out too much on camera, so they arranged for a procedure to pin them back. It was a simple surgery, but the results were dramatic. His entire profile changed, making him more camera-friendly and boosting his leading man appeal. The rugged charm everyone admired? Turns out, even that had a bit of surgical backup.
To retain her iconic look, underwent several cosmetic surgeries, including facelifts, rhinoplasty, and eyelid surgeries. These procedures, though never fully acknowledged at the time.
Number 18. Elizabeth Taylor. The brows, the nose, the whole package. Elizabeth Taylor had one of the most mesmerizing faces in Hollywood, but even she wasn't untouched. Early in her career, she had subtle adjustments to her nose and brows to better suit the camera. And those unforgettable violet eyes? They were enhanced with special contact lenses to really pop under the studio lights. While her natural beauty was real, the finishing touches made her image unforgettable. A perfect blend of nature and movie magic.
There are stars that rise, shine, and slowly fade. And then there's Jean Harlow. She didn't just shine. She blazed. Before Marilyn. Before Monroe was even Monroe.
Number 17. Jean Harlow. Bleached into stardom. Jean Harlow's striking platinum hair set the standard for Hollywood bombshells, but getting that look was dangerous. The bleach formulas used on her hair and brows were so harsh, they burned her scalp and often caused damage that needed cosmetic fixes. Behind her glowing screen presence was a painful routine to maintain that icy blonde ideal. Her look inspired a generation, but it came at a serious cost to her comfort and long-term health.
When it comes to male movie sex symbols, you don't get much bigger than Rock Hudson. Back in the 50s and 60s, women across America swooned over Hudson.
Number 16. Rock Hudson. studio-approved jawline. Rock Hudson wasn't always the confident, square-jawed icon we remember. Early in his career, he underwent facial surgery to enhance his jawline and give him a more dominant, masculine look. Studios needed him to fit the mold of a heroic leading man, and a stronger jaw was part of that image. The surgery paid off. His transformed face helped define him as the ultimate romantic lead. Beneath the surface, his image was as carefully shaped as any role he played.
It is widely believed that Crawford turned to plastic surgery to stay relevant and preserve her image. Crawford's surgeries, including several facelifts and rhinoplasty, were part of her effort to retain the youthful features that had once made her a star. While these procedures were never openly discussed at the time, the physical changes in her appearance over the years were difficult to ignore.
Number 15. Joan Crawford, brow lift and dental redo. Joan Crawford was a master of reinvention, and her transformation started early. She had her brows surgically lifted to achieve that alert, wide-eyed look that became her signature. Her teeth were also completely redone, fixing her smile for the big screen. Crawford understood the power of image and wasn't afraid to reshape herself to stay relevant. Every inch of her face was designed to command attention, and she made sure it stayed that way for decades.
Well, now, when I'm removed and see some of them, I never could stand my face, of course. It was just one of those things. No, truthfully, never could stand my face. Directors kept me out of rushes because I'd be so depressed for days.
What didn't you like about your face?
I thought it was hideous. I couldn't stand it. Well, now I'm a great many years older.
Number 14. Bette Davis. Bette Davis had one of the most expressive faces in Hollywood, but few people knew she underwent surgery to correct a slight lazy eye. It wasn't a major procedure, but it made a big difference in how her intense gaze came across on screen. That iconic stare, the one that could pierce through a character, was partly thanks to a surgeon's precision. It helped shape the fearless persona that audiences still remember her for today.
But I succeeded. And my husband said, if you want to make a career, I think you should cut your nose. I said, I should cut my nose to make a career in movies? I don't think so. I think that I like to stick to my nose because I like the way I look. To become an actress, I should cut my nose? Why? Because you don't photograph well. You're not photogenic. And I think you have to change cameraman and...
Number 13. Sophia Loren, nose narrowing. Sophia Loren's beauty was magnetic, but even she faced pressure to adjust her appearance. As she rose to international fame, her naturally strong nose became a point of concern for some in the industry. She had a subtle rhinoplasty to refine it, just enough to soften her profile without erasing her unique look. The change helped her transition from Italian starlet to global icon. Still, it came with emotional weight, balancing personal identity with public expectation. Number 12. Audrey Hepburn, the flawless smile. Audrey Hepburn is often remembered for her graceful charm and that iconic, delicate smile. But here's something most people don't know. Before she starred in Roman Holiday, the studio had her undergo subtle dental work. Her teeth were slightly crooked, and Paramount didn't think that would fly for their rising star. Audrey was hesitant, worried it might change her face too much. But the result? A refined, camera-ready smile that became pure Hollywood magic. Number 11. James Dean, the rebel with veneers. James Dean might have looked like the very definition of cool, but his smile didn't come naturally. When he started out, his teeth were uneven and discolored, not exactly the look Warner Bros. Wanted for their new heartthrob, so the studio had dental veneers made to give him that effortless, rebellious grin. Funny thing is, the guy who became a symbol of raw authenticity had a carefully crafted Hollywood smile glued on by studio dentists.
Memorable MGM comeback, Crawford proclaimed the face and boobs were new, only the ass is the same. Her friend Mamie Van Doren stated Gloria had everything done when preparing for her iconic role as Norma Desmond in Sunset Boulevard.
Number 10. Gloria Swanson. In 1928, as silent films faded and talkies took over, Swanson feared being pushed aside for younger stars. So she traveled to Paris for a secret facelift. The procedure was painful and primitive by today's standards, but she pulled it off. To the press, she was just on a shopping trip in Europe. Behind the scenes, she was fighting for her career.
It's the most.
As a matter of fact, it's not really a dimple. Let's face it, it's a hole in the chin.
Is it really? Yeah.
Is it really?
Is it? Well, I don't know. I mean, I know that if we could see it, it would be the most cleavage we've had on the show in a long time. But enough of that. Now that's over.
You know, when you say, is it really? One day I was riding to...
Number 9. Kirk Douglas. That iconic chin, that rugged, dimpled chin Kirk Douglas was known for, not entirely natural. Early in his career, studio executives thought he needed a stronger look, so he had a small chin implant placed to deepen the cleft and sharpen his profile. It was a minor enhancement, but it completely changed how he looked on screen. The funny part is, his son Michael Douglas ended up with the same famous chin, only in his case, it's partly genetic, partly borrowed. Number 8. Betty Grable. The $1 Million Legs. Betty Grable's legs weren't just legendary, they were literally insured for $1 million. But keeping them flawless took more than daily skincare. She endured early forms of liposuction, skin tightening, and mechanical massages to maintain their perfect shape. Studios treated her legs like their most valuable property, scheduling constant treatments to preserve them. While the public saw her as America's sweetheart, behind the scenes, she went through a lot to keep those legs picture perfect for every pinup. Number 7. Marlon Brando, rhinoplasty for a streetcar star. Before a streetcar named Desire made him a legend, Marlon Brando had a quiet insecurity about his nose. It was slightly wide for the camera, so he opted for a minor rhinoplasty to refine it. The change wasn't dramatic, just enough to bring attention to his intense eyes and strong jaw. What's ironic is that Brando would later become the face of natural, anti-Hollywood rebellion, even though he once allowed a surgeon to help shape his stardom.
She would sometimes come to the set without having washed her hair for days. Despite this, Armstrong admired Gardner's natural beauty and ability to captivate audiences. Gardner's hygiene problems were not widely known to the public. Her fans adored her for her stunning looks and passionate performances. The media focused on her tumultuous love life and glamorous image, rarely touching upon her personal hygiene. This selective coverage helped maintain her status as a Hollywood icon. Gardner's lifestyle was also influenced by her heavy drinking and late-night partying. She was known for her love of nightlife and often stayed out until the early hours of the morning. This contributed to her lack of a regular hygiene routine. In her autobiography, Ava, My Story, Gardner admitted that she loved to party and live freely, and sometimes hygiene took a back seat to fun.
Number 6. Ava Gardner, beauty at a high-voltage cost. Ava Gardner's captivating looks came at a high cost, literally. MGM wanted her hairline higher and more refined, so she underwent months of painful electrolysis to reshape it. Week after week, each session burned away hair follicles without proper anesthesia. She also had facial contouring to enhance her cheekbones. Ava reportedly cried during treatments but kept going. She joked that beauty and torture went hand in hand in Hollywood, but deep down, it clearly took a toll.
I haven't lost my temper in 40 years, but Pilgrim, you caused a lot of trouble this morning. Might have got somebody killed.
Number 5. John Wayne, the manliest facelift. John Wayne, the image of rugged masculinity, quietly had work done too. As he neared 50, he started showing signs of aging that studios worried would hurt his tough guy persona. So he underwent a subtle facelift and later, eyelid surgery to keep looking sharp. His recovery was masked by so-called fishing trips. For someone who symbolized American grit, even Wayne wasn't immune to the pressure of Hollywood's youth-obsessed image machine. It just had to stay secret.
In 1933, Clark had decided to undergo an otoplasty procedure which altered the look of his ears in order for them to be smaller. It also turns out that Clark Gable had an unfortunate gum disease that caused him to have quite a few teeth removed, making Clark wear dentures from a very early age. His fellow actors reported Clark having bad
Number 4. Clark Gable, dentures. Say what now? Clark Gable, the king of Hollywood, had a secret hidden behind that charming, masculine smile. He wore dentures for most of his adult life. He lost many of his teeth in his early 20s due to a severe gum infection. The studios helped cover it up, making sure no one, not even some of his co-stars, found out. That confident, swoon-worthy grin? Totally artificial. Still, it worked like magic on screen and became part of his irresistible charm. Number 3. Judy Garland, the child star, who paid in pain. Judy Garland might have had a $1 million voice, but behind the scenes, she was just a teenager pushed to meet impossible standards. Studio heads made her wear painful dental devices to reshape her jaw and perfect her smile for the camera. She endured this while being overworked and over-criticized, which took a huge toll on her self-esteem. Her physical pain was real, but the emotional damage from being constantly told to look better ran even deeper. Number 2. Lana Turner, nose job for the Bombshell brand. Lana Turner didn't just walk into stardom, she was sculpted into it. Early in her career, the studio decided her nose needed softening, so she underwent a rhinoplasty. It wasn't optional. They believed a more refined profile would help sell her as the ultimate screen siren. The results were stunning, and her face became iconic. But every camera angle, every close-up, was calculated. Even her facial features were micromanaged in the pursuit of that perfect Hollywood bombshell image. Number 1. Tony Curtis, from Bronx Boy to Golden Boy. Tony Curtis didn't start off as a polished star. He was a streetwise kid from the Bronx with a tough exterior. Rumors swirled that he had jawline surgery and a minor nose job to soften his features and appeal more to audiences. Whether confirmed or not, the transformation was obvious. His face became the golden standard for heartthrobs, and his rise from rough beginnings to Hollywood royalty proved just how much a carefully crafted look could shape a career. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.